So, welcome everybody. And I am so delighted to see so many faces that I know are from the other side of the planet. And at the same time, there really is no separation. I know maybe if we look outside our doors, the light is different. And welcoming you all to an incredible beginning of 2022. And what if it could be incredible no matter what is showing up? We have this call, this free call for all of you called Soaring Above a New 2022. And thank you, Dan. And thank you all for being here. I am so grateful. There's so many things coming up. And just now I'm getting that I was not acknowledging that this call was showing up today. Do you ever have those moments where you make certain choices, whether it's to attend a class or have a date, or you have a conversation that you're going to have with someone, and all these different emotions, thoughts, and feelings come up? And have you ever asked yourself in those moments, wow, am I actually aware of what's coming? Am I actually aware of the future? Am I actually aware of an energy that might be coming up or that will contribute and be a gift to what's coming? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sylvia Puentes. I am an Access Conscious facilitator, and I would say a gypsy of consciousness. I move around the world pretty quickly and fast, and being able to work online and just have an ease that, for a while there, I was not in one place for more than a week. And so people will joke around. I had someone during the holidays go, so you're homeless. I'm like, well, that's one way to look at it, or the entire planet is my home. So I am grateful for a lot of people I know around the world that invite me to come facilitate classes, and then being part of the Access Consciousness gaggle. I am the coordinator of the events for the Americas, and so much going on around the world, different these days. So you may have seen me in some of those things, but all of that to say, I would desire that each and every one of us have something totally different available for 2022. How that will look for each one of us, who knows? But one of the things that's showing up for me is those moments that seem intense, that don't seem to be showing up the way you thought they were. What if you could have way more ease with that? What if truly you polish off all your tools, dust them out? I don't know about you, but if I think of household tools, it's like sometimes they're spread out, right? Different drawers in the garage, in different places. And what if now is the time to go, okay, what tools do I have? What are my top 5? Which ones actually contribute to help me step out of the heaviness and the dread? Because what's it been like for you? I noticed just the other day, I'm having some certain things come up for me, and there was a level of emotion, sadness, to where I thought, I'm going to cry. Like, what is this? And not that crying is bad, but I had to really look at, what is this? What's going on? What am I aware of? And then an incredible question to ask, truth, does this belong to me? That question to ask yourself, truth, does this belong to me? It's going to give you an energy when you ask it. When you truly are asking for the awareness and you ask, truth, whatever you're perceiving, some people, they perceive so much, they tend to call it anxiety because it all comes in so quickly, or worry, or fear, or sadness, or whatever it is. And ask yourself, okay, whoa, before you go into the overwhelm of it, or the difficulty of what it might mean, whatever's coming up, ask, okay, truth, does this belong to me? And if it lightens up, if things change, it may not belong to you. It's like, no. And you almost have the sense that you can breathe. So how many of you have been aware of energies, of thoughts, of feelings, that you quickly look at your life and all the things going on and all the complications, whether it's something to do with your car, your taxes, your child, your body, and you're like, oh, well, yeah, it's mine. I got this going on. It matches somehow, and then you've locked it in. So I am so, I would cry too. And
that space of, I'm grateful I have many friends, and I went to go see a friend. It's like, oh my gosh, I was driving to her house when literally these tears were coming up. And I was like, okay, what is that? What is it? What is it for you that when you're ready to soar or you're in the midst of soaring pulls you back? And if it wasn't wrong, would you be willing to look at it and ask some questions? What if you didn't have to run from it anymore? What if you can go, okay, wow, this is intense. Truth, does it belong to me? No. And I sometimes when I ask that, there's a moment where like, I so want to say yes, because it almost seems obvious it would be mine, but it's like, no. But notice where it almost seems insane for it not to belong to you. Okay, not to belong to you is very different than I am aware. What you are aware of doesn't mean it belongs to you. It may not be relevant. So everywhere you're making all the thoughts, feelings, emotions out in the world relevant to you when they are not, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun pak, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And this is the part that for me, this soaring above a new 2022, it really is asking ourselves way more, what is the space of me? What is that energy that when it's present, it's like, oh, there I am. Because if we're, the one craziest thing that I started to look at when I first 12 years ago started to hear about access consciousness. And before that, I had never contemplated what it was to be an infinite being. Never. It was like, you're walking through life. I got the kid, the job, the dog, the cat. And it's like life is going, right? And when I started to look at, it's like, what is this thing, infinite being? Like, what do you mean? And, 12 years forward, it's like, I'm still in the question, what is it to be an infinite being? Where you perceive, you be and receive. And there is a space of lightness because there's no solidity, no exclusion. It's like, and what else is it to function and be an infinite being? Now, does judgment, is it included? It's there, but what are we going to choose in the face of it? Is fear show up? Well, it might, because it's such a part of our culture, our reality. Yeah, things about that are going to show up. What are you going to choose to be with that? And this is where the gift of having a list of these tools. So when I say polishing them up and gathering and going, all right, if I could create a basket of tools, what tools would I like to put in it? And many of you have a wealth of knowledge, experiences, maybe different techniques. Use whatever works for you. I am very clear that one of the things that works for me and my body is music. And it was interesting, even the choice of music, what that creates. So if I'm in a funk, I'll turn on a little bit of, salsa, a little bit of just moving Latin music that just my body just is like, I'm off. Like, even if it's 5 minutes, there's this joy. Now, for some of you, maybe I do recommend, if you haven't had one of your tools be some movement, invite your body to move, whatever that's like. Dr. Dane has an incredible app called You Got This with a lot of different audio recordings. And there was one I was listening to called Clearing the Fudge Head. And through the recording, he starts to then invite you to put pause and go do 10 push-ups. And I thought, are you kidding me? If anybody has a link to Dr. Dane's app, please put it in. You Got This. But I'm like, you kidding me? Like, fine, got out of bed, did the 10 push-ups, and I felt amazing. There was a different energy. So my question for 2022 in this willingness to soar, are you willing to include your body? Are you willing to ask to receive your body? To almost use it, but use it to contribute to you. It's like, all right, body, what do you require? And I kid you not, 5-10 minutes. If you haven't tried that, whether it's push-ups, whether it's stands, whether it's jumping jacks, whatever it is for you, what do you notice different once you choose that? So, again, this invitation, if you are here and you've never heard of Access Consciousness before, please check it out, accessconsciousness.com. There's a huge range of tools. And for those of you that have been around a while and have these tools, I would invite you to dust them off. What do I mean by dust them off? I actually mean revisit them. They're some of the very early tools. 2 questions, amazing questions. How does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? Those 2 questions may seem so simple, and yet they have a depth and a breadth to them. There is so much to be received, but you have to be willing to truly ask them as the question. Now, one of the things that when I first heard these tools, I was like, well, what else is possible? And I was so ecstatic to leave the 2 option, A and B, black and white options, to I had now 5 or 10. What else is possible? Well, this is, and that is, and that. And all of a sudden my world expanded. Awesome. But now what I'm aware of is that when you truly ask, what else is possible, you are actually inviting for something that's never existed on the planet before to show up. So for me, that simple tool, which I had just randomly used and things were expanding, all of a sudden it's like, oh my, am I actually willing to invite to my world, my life, our planet, something that's never existed before by my mere request and ask with that question? How does it get any better than this? What else is possible? So right now, I invite you guys just to yourself with whatever you're looking at in your life. Are you willing to ask, all right, whatever, pick one area. I'm sure you only have 2 or 3, right? So pick one and then just be willing to sit with it. It's like, fuck, maybe it's something with your son or your taxes or your car. And yeah, you can guess what's up in my world, right? But if you take a moment to go, all right, wow, what else is possible here? Kind of breathe it in, like, wow, what else is possible? And I enjoy adding the part, what else is possible I've never considered before? Notice, for me, that helps me because it's almost like out of my head. I'm not going to be able to have it in my head because I've never considered it. So what else is possible I've never considered before? All right, universe, show me. And then let it go. What if you don't have to be in the how and the fixing of whatever's going on? Stay aware. What action can I take today to have more clarity and ease with this? Okay. All right. And then go about your day, fold your clothes, whatever it is. Wow. What else is possible? What's else? Because you have a new 10 seconds. You move out throughout your day, go downstairs. It's another moment. What else is possible now? And allow yourself to be guided by the energy of what you're aware of will contribute with whatever is coming up for you. The other energy, I hope this is contributing, and please write in the chat if you have a question, raise your hand if there's something you want to ask that's particular. But there's another energy that I'd like to share with you guys with this invitation for soaring above. What do I mean by soaring above? What do I mean by new 2022? Well, for me, soaring above, I've, been looking at my own life and how I walk through the planet. And not that it's the right way, but, when things are flowing for you, ask, wow, what did I choose? What's my point of view here? And there's moments and magic that shows up because my point of view is that I can be here, meaning on the planet, seeing everything in this reality, but I don't have to buy it as mine. I can actually request for what works for me. There's been different experiences. I remember the one time in Mexico City, very congested traffic,
city, and a friend of mine had picked me up. She goes, Sylvia, I so apologize. We're gonna have to go through downtown. Like it's like basically she was warning me, we're gonna be in traffic, you know. And then we went, and it's not, it's like might have been like 9 or 10 a.m., but in between those hours where, you know, there's a lot of people out. And there was a moment where I looked and I'm all, wait a moment. I even took a picture because I was like, in the picture, there's a whole road in front of us and there's not a single car. And I'm going, wait a moment, what is this? And I'm all, wow, is this truly the power we have with the point of views we choose to take? So what points of views do you have about your life, your finances, your body, your capacities, your choices, your relationships? And if you didn't judge you and you can begin to go, wow, this is my point of view, I'm always going to be stuck in traffic at this time. Well, guess what? You are that potent that you will create that. Now, one of my points of views is the mantra of access. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, all of it. And when it doesn't, like this, that experience I told you at the beginning of the call, when I find myself in an intensity, I'm like, okay, what is this? Like something's up. Does it belong to me? Is it relevant? And can I contribute to changing something here now? So again, dusting off the tools, you know, maybe those early questions, and then this part of, wow, what's my point of view? And guess what? It's your point of view. You bought it, you chose it, you get to choose another one if you'd like. And if you don't know the clearing statement of access consciousness, maybe someone can put that in the chat too. There's a beautiful explanation that Dr. Dane does of the clearing statement. And even if you don't understand it, and if you wanted to use it, use it. You know, there was a longer form of saying that was over a page, 2 pages, maybe close to 3, of this clearing. After it was used so often, it shifted to a short version, which is the one I've already used. So everything that is where you're present with the energy and what's up, that then you go, everything that is, okay, not going to judge it, all that energy, all that intensity, everything I've used at this moment to think is mine, that's not, wow, everything that is, right, and destroy and uncreate it. Because you can only destroy what's not true. So if you're willing to destroy and uncreate it, what will show up is what's true for you. And then it's right and wrong, good and bad, pan, pak, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, if you've used the clearing statement, I invite you to allow yourself to receive it and play with noticing the shift of energy as you say it. I got into the habit, everything that is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay. And not allowing myself to actually be present with the energy as it was changing, as I was asking for something different. So everything that is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now there's a new space, totally new space. Now there's those other moments where I just want to scream. Like, I don't know what it is, but I want to scream. And, you know, depending where I'm at, I will allow that energy and just be like, fuck, everything that is, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod, which is your shorter version. Pock and pod, your point of creation, your point of destruction. Wherever you're destroying any other possibilities that are available for you. So what if there's no right or wrong way here? It really is what's going to shift the energy for you. And the gift of the clearing statement, that it's just not like, you know, giving you white clouds and little puffing up your aura. It truly is energetically clearing what's not true for you. And then from there going, okay, you have more of a sense of you, more of a sense of the space of what's going to contribute to you. So soaring above 2022 means you're actually willing to be present with everything. Everything. You can see it, but you don't have to get involved. So how many of you are getting involved with especially after the holidays or during the holidays. Like, how many of you saw people and family are like, fuck, I think I'm healing my father now because you got all this stuff coming up, or, you're feeling a little more angry and anxious. You're like, what the heck? That wasn't there before. Ask yourself, what am I aware of here? You guys are amazing, amazing, infinite beings with incredible capacities beyond the words we can use to describe. What if this new 2022, you asked to have more of awareness of that and asked to have more ease, more clarity, more ease with all of that? Now, the little side note is that as you ask for more awareness, guess what? Things can get intense. When things get intense, you're like, what the heck's going on? Ask yourself, is this what I've been asking for? Have I actually asked for more awareness? I have certain things coming up with my body, and it's interesting. I'm all, I have been asking. I have been asking to receive more of my body. So guess what? I might actually be now receiving what it's been trying to tell me for a long time in different ways. So how many of you are resisting receiving the infinite awareness, being, perceiving, being, and knowing that you be because of the intensity you think that may be? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you all destroy and uncreate that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pan pak, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, the other part to that, as things get intense, we do have amazing, amazing gifts. I wish I could say that once you start using these tools, there's like a rose petal path and everything is lovely and everyone is lovely. Unfortunately, not the case. Unfortunately, really not the case. Oh, I so wish. But what we do have is more tools. So, I have friends and family and even myself where there's those moments of intensity. And what do? We go so quickly to label them. Some of you are so aware that quickly, physically, it's so intense. You're like, fuck, I'm having an anxiety attack, and it's like, is it that, or are you just aware? So one of the other tools that's amazing when things get intense is the willingness to go, okay, has my awareness exceeded my allowance? When you become aware of the cruelty of death, of sadness, whatever people are choosing and exist on the planet, it's like, wow, it can get intense. But are you willing to have the allowance too that will give you more ease in allowing people to choose whatever they choose? There was a moment recently with my son that he got really intense and, angry, frustrated with himself. And I know there's tools, but the greatest gift I can give him is to be in total allowance for him to choose whatever he's choosing. Now, believe me, as a mom, for those of you that are parents, it's not easy. Like, it's like, oh, I so want to give him the magic pill, make his day better. And, to be able to go, all right, what can I contribute here? And allow for my allowance to exceed my awareness. Because I may be aware that a certain choice of his may not be the easiest path. And yet, who am I to tell him what to do? What if the greatest gift we can give ourselves and others is that space of allowance? Total allowance. So here's the other tool. And I know I'm going through these quickly. I don't know if anybody's making notes, but these, truly pick one or two if you're new to them and apply them and see what changes in your life. Because if we are truly going to soar above 2022, we're going to have to bring out that toolbox. I would say, really shiny. If you're like organization, maybe you put it in alphabetical order, whatever it is for you. I know that when I started Access, I had sticky notes everywhere because these weren't tools I was familiar. I had reminders in my car, on my phone. I would even put it with the marker up on my mirror in the bathroom, whatever it took. I knew that these tools were going to open up a whole new reality for me, and they weren't automatic in my world. But the other tool that I would love to share with you is, it's like we talked about,
Your point of view creates your reality. So whatever your point of view is, you're going to create that reality. And then ask yourself, okay, what are you living as your reality that's not working for you? And ask, what point of view do I have here? And this works not only when things are shitty, but it's also when things are going great. I have a friend who picks up languages really easily. And I asked him one day and I said, what's your point of view about learning languages? He goes, I can learn any language if I apply myself. That's his point of view. So guess what? He knows he has a choice. He applies himself. He's got the language. I'm all that easily. And I'm all, wow, that's not my point of view. My point of view is like, I know Spanish and English. And if there's languages that are close to that, I'll have ease. But I also have another point of view of these incredible capacities we call the 9 trannies, one of them being transliteration, that by magic, not by learning, there is more ease with languages, understanding them and speaking them. So the willingness to choose way beyond what we have defined our education or our past will give us. So that's a whole nother topic. But the tool with all of this is when you find yourself so fixed on a point of view, if something's wrong or right or good or bad, or, this tool is incredible. But again, are you willing to use it? Like this dusting off, by being aware of the energy it's changing as you use it. So pick something in your life right now. If you've had an upset with someone, if you've been frustrated with a certain area of your life right now, think of something. What is that for you? Okay. All right. And now perceive that energy, whatever it looks like, whatever it feels like in your body. Like, many of us, it's like, ugh, like I don't want to even be with it because I've been avoiding it, trying to throw it under the rug and it's not going away. So what if you could just, all right, there it is. All right. And now go. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And you can be more detailed if you would like to be present that, wow, interesting point of view. I have this point of view that this is the way it is. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view that this is like awful. And now notice that space, the new space. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. From that new space now, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And I don't know if what you're perceiving, if anybody would like to share, but that space for me now, it's like almost as if my molecules relaxed. And as you have more of the allowance of whatever's showing up, now there's choice. Now you're not in reaction. You actually have a choice to be with it in a different way. And now ask, okay, what different action can I take now? Does it still require me to say something to someone? But it's from a whole different space and energy. And it's so interesting. I saw some of you, thank you for having your cameras on. I saw you yawning in the sense of like, yeah, we all release energy in a different way. Yawning is one of them. But it's like, notice how much contraction was in your world with that point of view. And then the willingness to be interesting point of view. I have this point of view. It's like, oh, oxygen. We all require it. So I highly recommend it. Breathe, take deep breaths. Yeah, that sense of relaxation, and it gives you space. So what if that space and relaxation is more the space, energy, and consciousness of you? And anywhere you don't have that, ask yourself, what have I bought here? So true and real that isn't. If you have a lot of heaviness in your world, if you're like feeling contracted, you can't breathe and you're struggling with something, ask yourself, what am I buying here that's not true? Or what's actually true here for me? But here's a side note.
And this is another one. If you're going to soar above 2022, you have to be willing to be different. I can't emphasize that enough. And even the word different is so different for me now, you know, but the willingness to ask a question makes you different. Because, you know, in our culture, in our reality, we've grown up, you need to actually label something. You need to actually get to the conclusion so you know how to fix it. What if that's not true? What if a way to unlock what's actually going on and what's true for you is by asking a true question? So anything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the power and the gift of what a true question can be for you in this new year, will you destroy in this new year and for the rest of, I don't know, eternity, Jesus. Like, what if we truly got the gift of the power of asking a true question? So anything that doesn't allow that, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. When you truly ask a question with that curiosity of a 2-year-old, I see this young boy with Jessica. And when you are that young, you have this level of curiosity. What's that? How does that work? You know, when you're asking all the questions, it's like, what if we could be like that? Like, what is this? Like, if you've never experienced it before, what can I do with this? Can I change it? And if so, how do I change it? And a little side note, either in the chat or both, and in the follow-up email, if you registered for this class, which I'm assuming you did if you came on, we'll send some of these questions to you and just play with them. But these 4 questions truly, if asked with that curiosity, may be enough to change the current intensity in your body, may be enough to give you the awareness of another choice you have available. But what if you just were willing to ask and receive the energetic contribution of the question? What is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? Yes, I can. And if you get a no, okay, ask later, ask another day. But if you get a yes, okay. If so, how do I change it? And then listen for the whispers, maybe later in the day on a radio, someone you cross paths with in your day may say something. You're like, what is that? And then you're asking more about what they said, but there was a ping there. So once again, for me, one of the new demands in my world is that, I guess maybe it's always been there, but there's more of a demand that says like, all right, truly 2022, and really like, what will it take for more people to know we don't have to be at the effect of anyone or anything? And for me, one of the greatest gifts are these tools of access. I've been playing with them for 12 years. For those of you that know me, my life is so different. I never imagined, not right or wrong, good or bad. It works for me, but what works for you? What I realized that, for many, many of my, 40 on years or whatever, I thought I was living that ideal life that was the target of life. And yet I had no idea that there was more that I would like to choose. Last night I was with a friend and we watched the movie, The Great. Is it just called The Great? And it's so amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. And maybe Stella, if you find it, you can send the link of it. It's called The Great. But one of the things that it's a series. And one of the things that I appreciate about it is that this girl, she has this fantasy idea of what it's going to be like to marry the emperor. And so she's going with this narrow view, not at all asking a question. This is what it's going to be, and it's going to be like this. And it doesn't turn out that way. And she's ready to commit suicide, like, get me out of here. And yet what she ends up, I'll give you a little of the story, but what she ends up arriving, it's like, wait, there's something bigger. I can choose this beyond having the perfect relationship I thought I would have with the emperor. And she has a bigger ask. So what's your ask for 2022?
What's your ask? And if we didn't even look at it by year, what's your new ask with the new demand you have in your life? And pick one area. Like, what if you didn't have to look at it all now? I'd invite you to, but oftentimes that's too intense and there's too many judgments. So pick one area. What's your demand? What would you like to see on the planet? And what choice can you make today that will have that become more of a reality? I just saw this last question. It's like, what's my reality? Right. It's like, that's an incredible question. What if you just played with that? What's my reality? And what if it's not fixed? What if you get to ask and create it at every moment? So are you willing to be that engaged with your own life, your own business, your own body, where you're engaged so much that you're willing to ask a question? What today? And if there's no right or wrong, which is the gift of the clearing statement, truly, I get it sounds insane, but the trap to live in a polarity of right and wrong, good and bad, will give you limited choices. So if no right or wrong, what awareness do you have? What choices do you have? And what's available for you to create the reality that really works for you? I am going to open it up a few minutes if anybody wants to come on, but there's this last one, like giving you like 10 tools, I think. But this last one that I played with early on, and I have a friend, my sweet friend Alba, she's all, you don't live in 10-second increments, Sylvia, you live in 5. But this willingness to always be in the question and have things change. So one of the tools is, if you were choosing to live the rest of your life in these 10 seconds, what would you choose? So playing with that exercise, I invite people to do it 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes in your home, and truly from everything that's accessible in your home, ask, okay, if I was living truly the last 10 seconds of the rest of my life, what would I choose? I might clean my room. I should give you guys a glimpse. All right, maybe I'd start to clean my room. Okay. Those 10 seconds are over. And remember, you're doing it for 5 minutes. So you got another 10 seconds. Okay, now 10 seconds are over. I have a new 10 seconds to live the rest of my life. What do I choose? I actually would open the balcony and just take in the fresh air outside. It's a nice day in Houston. The sun is out, but there's that brisk fall, or kind of just brisk winter weather, I guess, in Houston, as Houston does. But it's like, oh, and absorb that. Okay. Those 10 seconds are over. What new choice do you have? If you could choose for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Maybe you start to stretch. Maybe you choose to go get a drink of water. Not a bad idea. But the willingness, put it in for 5 minutes, see what shows up for you. And what I've discovered with this exercise and facilitating it around the world, there comes a point for people after maybe 5, 8th choice where they're like, I don't know what else to choose. And what I've noticed is that we have been so entrained to choose the right thing, avoid the wrong, what's good, what's bad, what's going to give me the result that I think I want, that I think it's going to give me, that there comes a moment where we're actually not choosing just for the fun of choosing. So that's one of the last tools. What if we could truly have a level of joy and adventure in this new 2022 and soar above it with a level of ease, a level of joy, a level of glory, that exuberant expression and abundance that's available for all of us if we choose. Yes, hug myself, have gratitude and prayer. Awesome. And then those 10 seconds are over. What will you choose? Okay. Definitely know that you can always choose again. And there truly is no right and wrong. Now, certain choices give you certain outcomes. Yes, meaning, if I go shoot someone out in my neighborhood, like, yeah, that will create a different future than if I choose to do something different. So yes, be aware of your choice and what that creates. So anyone have a question? Thank you for those of you. Someone is asking, what if I was holding into or my point of view and cannot change? that I cannot change. Is that it, Dina? Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
awesome. So if that's your point of view, I cannot change. You're right. You're right. You can't. Now, would you be willing to play to prove yourself wrong and start to ask, well, what can I change? But what if it's not even change from fixing something, but it's like, what could I choose different? Because many of us go to change something because we're judging it as wrong. And that is such a wonky energy and limiting. But what if you could go, okay, what else could I choose? What else can I add that I've never thought was available for me? And play with that. And then bring out that magic wand of the clearing statement. And wow, everywhere I decided that my only point of view was that I cannot change, I'll destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And have that energy and that potency to go, okay, what's my demand here? I want to see even the smallest choice that I have of what I can contribute to adding something different, of creating something different in whatever area you're looking at. Awesome. Yes, it's just a choice. Awesome. Anything else? Bashima, hello, lady.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's so nice to see you.
Likewise. What's up?
So, I have a funny question. So, I just realized recently that I have been pretending not to be aware about with a certain friend, and so much so that I bought into my own pretense, and that kind of
Brilliant.
created like a blind spot on not knowing what to do that would create greater for me. So, oh, now that I'm present with it, I can change it. Oh,
So thank you for that. Because look at what you were willing to ask a question. Now, this is the other gift of asking a question, a true question. Bashima came on with the question, being willing to look at an area she wasn't willing to look at. That already creates. So the fact that you started to speak about it, then you realize you already have the awareness and something has changed. Yes or no?
oh my God. Wow, it's like the power of just being present and acknowledging it. Just
But
changed
also,
it.
yes, but also how much did you actually ask? Because you're like, I'm changing this. Like whatever this is, I'm going to look at it.
God, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Because that is such a beautiful gift. Because it's like all of us can ask ourselves, wow, what area in my life am I not willing to be present with? That I've judged, like I can't look at that. Or if I look at it, then it's going to be me judging me or them. And what if it isn't? It's just asking to have more awareness of what it is, what you can choose different. Yay. And how does it get any better than that?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Anyone else? Yeah, I love it too. It really, and one of the other gifts too is that part of the gift of access consciousness is that when you start to ask questions that empower people, you notice I didn't tell her anything. She got to that. No one can take that away from her now. She has that for herself. That's why the tagline of Access is empowering people to know that they know. It's about you getting to that. And her world looks like it's changed just a little. So, yes. So what else is available for all of us this 2022 as we choose to soar above? You don't have to go in the shit. You don't have to go into everybody's shit to think that that's kind. You really don't. It's like, wow, that sucks. And what else is available here? But how many of you go into the shit? And I say it very, very intently. It's dark, it's stinky, it's sticky and everything else. And you're like in it because I want to be empathetic.
I'm here for you. But you don't realize you get stuck in it too, rather than being willing to see it from out here and go, wow, is there anything they're truly asking? Is there anything I can contribute? Is there anything they're actually willing to hear? Because some people like their stories, and that's okay. So you don't have to solve it for everyone. So cool. I don't get what is that money, just choose. I do, but something's nothing happening, no money shows up. So here's a question, and I'm going to do my best to pronounce your name. Is it just Susanna, but just with a lot of extra letters? Your question about money and choice. My question for you, oh, thank you. I love laughing by myself too. But my question for you, Susie, you got it. So my question for you is, how much joy do you choose in your life? If you could look at it percentage, all of you, how much joy do you choose in your day? Awesome. Like 5%, 10%. Oh, here's a different question. And I loved it. The question is, when was the last time you were truly happy? So when I first heard that question, very different if someone would have asked me even an hour before it, because the person that asked me was Dr. Dane, and he had this really inviting me energetically. And I thought, oh, I would have told anybody an hour ago that I was happy, because it looks like I'm happy with everything in my life. But, he asked me this question 11 years ago. And when he asked me, I started to go in my life, and I went all the way to 3 years old. And the thing that showed up for me in that moment was like, oh my gosh, like what do you, like, it didn't make sense. And yet I couldn't deny that there was this true joy that I knew was available at 3 years old, that in present time, when he asked me that, it was not that same space of true joy. There was something else. And so I was invited, and I had the choice to start to clear that up. Now, and the reason I bring this up, and Susie, you're saying like, wow, I have this, this joy, and you love what you do. Awesome. Now, the reason I was saying that, because money follows joy. I mean, I'm meeting some of you for the first time, and some of you that have known me, there is a level of joy and ease in my life that I choose. Now, I wonder what else is available. Like, what else is the space of joy and ease for me that I haven't been willing to choose? Because that would make me even more different than I already am. So for you, Susie, what is it about money that you're refusing to claim, own, and acknowledge, that if you would not refuse it, would allow you to be present with what's true for you? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now here's another thing. So who enjoys the money? You, the infinite being, or your body? So Susie, how much are you including your body in your life? Because you, the infinite being, money is irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything. You don't care about it. That's why you'll gift free sessions, and you'll gift this and that, and you won't even charge. Yeah. So she says, not much. Money is actually a gift for your body. If you think about it, with the money you have, you get to choose maybe different clothes that feel good, yummy food for it, different experiences. So it really is a gift to your body. So where can you include your body and begin to ask, okay, body, if we could choose anything, what would you like to choose? Walking into a furniture store, a clothing store, ask your body, what would you like? I knew early on, my body had quite an elaborate, taste of what it would like. And I remember walking to a store, and of course I would be looking at the items that were $1,000. I'm like, okay, I live or have lived many years in Northern California in some beautiful boutiques, and I'd be $1,000. Like, that's crazy. And yet my body was letting me know, I'd like that. So now this is what you can ask. Body, would you contribute for us creating the money so we can have that with much more ease? Ask your body to contribute.
So awesome, Susie. I hope that contributes to a very different 2022. And then destroy and create all the points of views you have about money. There's an incredible book in the bookshop, How to Become Money Workbook, that it's an amazing workbook. I think it's like $35. That is a great one to do to begin to bring to surface your points of views. Thank you. There, Dina has it. Awesome. And then you can begin to clear some of that to actually get to what's true for you about money and the magic and the ease it can be. You have all the money workbooks. Cool. I have them too, but ask me the last time I've actually worked in one. So, one of the ideas was to do a book club on that. So maybe that's coming up just for the fun of it. Because I want, wow, what if we could even receive more? So how much more would we be willing to receive in 2022? Oh, awesome, Andrea. You're so welcome. He says, you're an empowering woman. I love you, Sylvia. Thank you. You're one of the persons who made me know that I know. And that's a huge gift, Andrea, that I contributed to you knowing that you know. I desire like way more people having that. So thank you for that acknowledgement. And you said, what about control? So you tell me, what about control? Do you like control? Do you think you require control so nothing falls apart? Are you afraid that things are going to fall apart? Like, what is it about control? Because control isn't bad, but are you using it in your favor, or are you using it to limit the possibilities that could be available? So ask yourself, that's an incredible topic. And then what is that, Sylvia? Everywhere I work, I receive same amount for money, and then I quit the job or I lose the job, where I've concluded that I only can have so much money in my reality. So truth, do you have a cap of money that you've made right to receive? How many of you are not?
I will go directly like this. To be even better. Hello, Sylvia.
Hello, there you are.
Myself.
Perfect.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, please let me ask you directly the questions then. Because I'm sure you're the only one with, something like this going on.
Yes.
You're just the courageous one to actually speak about it.
Thank you.
So truth, is this amount the appropriate amount that you can receive?
No.
Yes, no. Okay, cool. So what would it mean to you to receive more than that?
More joy.
Okay, what else?
Fun.
Yes.
Expanding the life. Being more of me.
Cool.
Playfulness.
So is there anything tied to the people that are paying you that if they were to pay you more, something would change? Yes or no?
No, it's coming as life.
So cool. So let me ask you another question and just go with what comes out this. And everybody, please ask yourself this question. So truth, do you have enough money? First thing that came out, what was it?
It came between no and yes. Actually, it came more the word, I don't require money to have what I wish to have in my life.
Awesome. So there's the point of view.
Yeah.
So say that 3 times.
I don't require money to have what I wish to have in my life. I don't require to have money to have what I wish to have in my life. And I don't require money to have what I wish to have in my life. Oh my goodness.
So everything that is, and everything that brings up, and all the secret, covert, hidden things that you have there holding that in place, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pan and pak, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, here's the gift of that. You've actually now tapped into a point of view that wasn't clear up for you at the moment, right? And you notice the willingness to have someone continue to ask questions. I don't know what it is truly for Lena here, but if I'm willing to ask her questions and have her get to what she knows, she can unlock something for herself. And this is where we unlock those insane points of views.
Now, it's kind of part of what I said as an infinite being. You're right. You don't require it,
Mm,
right? And
mm. Yep.
Hello. Did Sylvia just drop?
Yeah, I
believe.
think she freezed.
Okay. She'll be back soon. Just kidding. Let's just wait for her.
You can play our playlist.
Do we pause or?
Oh, yeah, good idea. Thank you. All right, playlist. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh. Now I have this song in my head. How does it get in my head?
Sorry, everyone. I forgot. You pulled, and here I am. And I am going to have to wrap it up. I just actually, part of that ring that came through is that I do have another call, but I did not have my computer charging. So it completed, the battery went to sleep. But I do want to finish, Lena, with you. And the part that I wanted to mention is that earlier we were talking about, the infinite being, and that doesn't require money. So what if you can now explore what would be fun, and ask your body what it would like, and ask what would be fun to add to my life? I was asked that question years ago, Sylvia, do you have enough money? And it was yes. And guess what? I had that cap. After I acknowledged that, wow, it was enough for me. And I said, what would I have to choose in my life to inspire me to create more?
Wow.
So now I own 2 horses. There's a property in Costa Rica that I'm a part of. I have 3 different places around the world that I live at, but it's like I've added way more. I've added more people to my business, different things of the sort. So, but that was first me getting really clear. Oh, I have enough, but I have enough money. But is my life big enough? What would be fun for me? So I had never really asked. And, would you love to travel more? Would you love to add different clothes? Do you like purses? Do you like jewelry? What would be
Oh,
fun
yeah.
for you in your body? Yeah. Okay. That.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So-
definitely it was popping my own business, since I was looping all the time with the same job, same personality, same money amount till now this open up. It would be fun to have my own business. Yeah.
Awesome. So notice
Yeah.
that joy, notice that space of what you can now begin to ask to add to your life. And then ask for the money to show up. Where, what choices, what's available.
Where I
So,
can go.
yep. Yep.
Super.
So
Thank you so much for
you
this
are so
space.
welcome. Thank you for asking. And thank you all for coming on. Truly so grateful for this call, and my whole incredible team and everybody that contributes to getting the word out for these calls. I am grateful. You will receive the recording. We'll have a list of some of the questions, and please visit the Access Consciousness website. And on the 15th of this month, we will have the Global Bars Day event, which is a 1 day, 10 hours for the full day of different things showing up. You get to hear from Gary Douglas, the founder, Dr. Dane here, and some other amazing people. We'll be live here in Houston. If you're in the area, want to come join us, but otherwise go online. You can watch it from your own space, and there might be people nearby that are getting together to watch it together. So I know that this has contributed to me and thousands of people around the world. And I desire that lightness, that space, that creativity and joy available for every one of us. And what else do you know that you haven't acknowledged? That if you did acknowledge, would allow you to soar above 2022 with way more ease. So thank you, everyone. And I look forward to maybe seeing you in a part of the world as I'm hopping around through South America very soon, and out here in the US. So thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.